Oh, you got
Fuck, that's bright, bro.
God, I feel like we're movie stars or some shit. I got my sunnies on.
Testing. I love dicks.
The sober life of Jacob and Lucas.
Give us a bit of a fucking talk, mate.
Yeah, man. So
beautiful.
This is going to be good. All right. So I got,
Let me fire it off. All right. So basically, my communication's been shithouse. To be totally honest, I can talk shit to you in person. Talking to cameras has always been fucking shit. I've been behind the camera, and that's something I want to fix. So I started this sort of little project, little vlog, looking to get better at communication, not just in this style, but just talking in general. So yeah, it's called The Quit List. I've been sober now for 57 days, but yeah, it's ongoing. So I wanted to hang out with my mate, practice communication, and see what comes of it.
Yeah,
so this is Luke Maro.
Awesome.
Introduce yourself.
Bloody oath. My name's Luke. Man, I fucking, I've been struggling with drugs kind of my whole life, dude. And I started going to some meetings and stuff, and I've been sober for probably about 5 or 6 weeks now. So it's really good, man. Like a really bit of an eye opener. So look, it's a struggle every day, but we'll dive into it a bit more. And sober life's boring, but it's fun at the same time. And when boring becomes the new fun, you get used to it. But there's a lot more better things in life. That's for sure, dude. That's for sure. A lot of stress.
How do you deal with stress? Like,
I used to use drugs. I used to use drugs to deal with stress, man. And just like narcotics, like lots of different narcotics. Wasn't really much of a drinker, to be honest. A little bit of trauma in the past too, but I like to really put it down to just communication, like you said, and just stress, bro. Like just working and home life, and once you get a taste of the devil, man.
The devil's dick is delicious.
It is delicious, dude, and it just gives you this warm blanket, man, that I just can't describe unless another addict and other addicts understand. It's crazy, dude.
So going back to the stress side of things, like stress was always a big problem for me.
Yeah.
Hey Rexy, what are you doing? You're right. Come on, Rexy.
All right, come on, mate. There's no stopping him, mate.
Yeah.
Up you get. Come on.
Up.
Lie down.
Beautiful boy. Good boy. So stress. Stress for me was always like the biggest complaint with like ex-girlfriends. Like, fuck, you're stressed out. What are you going to do for your stress?
Yeah.
Go and have a bong.
Yeah.
Not stressed. But after a period of time, like that stops doing its thing, or after a period of time, I'd spend 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours in the shed smoking weed to try and defeat that stress.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I've taken on since being sober, because the stress is still there, obviously, is a few sort of little mechanisms. So I want to find out what your mechanisms are. For me, it's two things. It's fitness. So I work out every day, go for a run, whatever it is. Like I just stay on track with my fitness, and to be honest, that's always been easy for me. If I commit to fitness in general, I just stick to it. It's fun. I enjoy seeing myself sort of change. The hard one's been more mental fitness, to be honest.
Okay.
I've got a mechanism for that. My big one that just fucking really helps me when I'm stressed or something goes wrong. Like, for example, I got booked this morning speeding. Normally that shit would just...
bugger.
Yeah, bro. Normally that would just tear me up. I'd beat myself up. Why have you done this? No, it's on the car. On the car, bro. Fucking pass an RBT.
Yeah, okay.
Normally I would linger on it. I'd fucking kick myself, whatever. When the fine comes, I'd be stressed, pissed off. But I've got a mechanism. And that is, when you're stressed or something bad like this happens, find 3 things immediately that you're grateful for. So for me, I know it's a 3-point fine.
I like this.
I've still got 6 points left, right? So I'm not losing my license. I'm grateful for that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm grateful for, it's a $300 fine. I've got tax coming back. Tax will be back in a few weeks. By the time the fine comes in, paid for.
Prolong it a bit.
Yeah, 100%. So the money side of things is fine. So there's 2 things I'm grateful for. 3 things I'm grateful for is I can still drive my car. Like, I love my car. Does not take that away from me. And by the time you actually sit there for a minute and think about it, like, I was pulled over on the side of the road. I'm thinking, fuck, dude, you're pissed. 3 things. Came up with those 3 things. And by the time I drove away, I was happy. I was fine. No problem. Move on from it. Aside from talking about it now, like, I'll forget about it until the fine comes in. And
nice.
Those things will still be in my head, what I'm grateful for. So
very nice.
What's one of your mechanisms for stress?
I've got a similar thing. I like the 3 thing idea. I've just got, and I learnt this through going to NA meetings, A plus B equals C. So basically, A is the problem. You got to speed and fine, right? B is your alternate solution was have a few billies, forget about it.
Yeah.
And then C would be the consequence of lapsing, then smoking for longer and longer and longer. So A is something you can't change, the incident, getting pulled up, getting done for speeding. B is what you can change, and it'll make C heaps better. So B. So for an instance, for me, I had a little situation at work, which was out of my control, and it got me to all kinds of emotions, which would usually lead me to taking drugs to mask the pain, let's say.
Yep.
So I changed the solution B. So I would usually, mask the pain with narcotics, and instead I rang a mate. I rang a mate who I used to go surfing with. Now, we've been catching up recently. So I rang him. I said, hey, mate, I'm not having a good day. Let's go surfing. That's my B. I changed B. Instead of taking drugs, I just threw myself in the water, caught a few waves.
Yep.
And that changed my whole outcome for C, dude. So what was the outcome for C? Didn't want to take drugs, had a fucking fantastic day, and problem A could sort itself out the next day.
Perfect. Yeah.
And if I just apply those 3 simple steps, A plus B equals C, to life's going to throw us hurdles, massive hurdles, small hurdles for the rest of our lives, dude.
100%.
And this disease is something we're going to have to live with for the rest of our lives. Unfortunately, it's something that's never going to ever go away, where we can once upon a time have it in moderation. We can never have it in moderation again. It's just unfortunate. But that's cool. We got to accept that and just take it one day at a time, dude. So, and look, it does get easier, man. It's just tricky for a while. That's all.
So
yeah.
I guess, looking at that, the things that are similarities between our two mechanisms for coping with it is you've got to stop and think, right? Like, that was the thing that I never did. Is I'm always like, I have shit impulse control. So, I want to buy something, I just fucking buy it. Same with drugs. If I'm feeling stressed, I just fucking go and smoke a bong. But that's the one thing I've had to implement since being sober is stopping and thinking before acting. And we both did it in that situation. You had to stop and think of the A, think of the B, think of the C. Mine was the 3 things. And buying yourself that time gives you a chance to react in a positive way, I think. I call it wiggle room. You give yourself a bit of fucking wiggle room so you don't just go straight from A to C.
Yeah, for sure.
The B is also thinking about it, or...
And like I said, it gets easier. Implying that algorithm gets so much easier as you practice it more, dude. But also in saying that, there's 2 wolves, man. My mate told me once, there's the good wolf and there's the bad wolf. And if you're going to feed the bad wolf, he's going to get big and strong, That's the bad wolf. And if you feed the good wolf, he's going to get big and strong too. But while you're feeding the good wolf, going surfing, thinking about those 3 things to make that situation better. The bad wolf is getting hungry, dude. So you just got to remember to keep feeding the good wolf, I find, because it's, the good wolf, we haven't fed him in a while, right? You've been bloody doing your thing for 7 odd years, you were saying. I've been doing mine for nearly the same, dude. So our good wolf is fucking just ribs and dick at the moment. He is starving,
He's
brother.
horny as fuck.
He is starving. Whereas our bad wolf... Bro, he is on the roids, brother. He's massive. We've just been pumping him. So now he's not getting eaten anymore. So the good wolf, you're going to take a long time to build this guy up. But the amount of time we put into fucking our lives up, but the amount of time we put into negative things into our lives, it's going to take the same amount to get it on positive side. I don't expect 1 year of sobriety for me to be all good and welcome. I know it's going to take 7 years to get everything back to how it was and get that good wolf healthy again.
It's defeating thinking about it like that, though, as well, to be honest.
It is defeating thinking about it, man. But the quicker you accept that, the easier your journey to recovery and sobriety will be, man. And I know I'm only 6 weeks in. I know it's so soon for me, but I can already see glimpses of it. And that shit fucking excites me. That shit brings me back to the old Luke days. And I'm like, you know what? I can do this. I still have my bad days, don't get me wrong, man. Fuck, I still have my bad days. But you just got to imply the tools that we've learnt so far and the tools that I'm going to learn in the future to help me cope with this shit, bro. And for yourself as well, man.
I heard a mad quote. It was, you can't expect to stay clean off yesterday's shower.
Yeah.
So fucking
I like
true,
that
man.
one, eh?
That sort of lasts half a day, depending on what you're doing and get dirty, but you could have a shower the next day. And it's the same with sobriety. You can't expect to go to one meeting, like you mentioned earlier, and then be sweet for 6 months. You know,
You're right. And
consistency.
Another good quote I heard too, it was from Mike Tyson, actually. I think he was on a potty talking to someone. He said, when you're favoured by God, you're also favoured by the devil. So basically, when you're doing good in life, man, the devil will pop up too. You know, when everything's going your way, he will be up behind you going, remember about all this stuff and how good it was.
Yeah.
So you got to remember to just feed the good wolf, feed the good wolf, feed the good wolf.
Well, it's funny, like, I relate that to relationships, man. Like, I've sort of struggled with relationships through, like, also mostly through my addictions and, you know, communication problems, whatever. And it's the same thing. When you look back on a relationship, maybe your last one, it's very easy to remember just the good times, you know, and think like, fuck, maybe I should reach out, or maybe I should, you know, it was so good, it was awesome. But like, you also had a lot of shit times, hence why you're not together or whatever. But it's the you know, the devil trying to show you the good times to try and come back and make you forget about the, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
well, we're so used to like 7 years is a long time to be doing what we were doing. So we're so used to like that easy getaway, that easy void filler, like the easy just to go back to how it was, man. So like I said, 7 years to do this to ourselves, it'll be almost the same time to once we, you know, get out of it. After 7 years of being sober, I think I'm gonna have some kind of knowledge and tools of how to keep doing it for the rest of my life. But I was practicing how to ruin my life for 7 years, bro. I got to give myself time to get back on top.
we're at a good age where it's, you know, you can make it.
We're in our late 20s, man. That's fine.
Fuck, late 20s, brother. I'm 31 in like a couple months.
Damn.
I'm getting old, dude.
Damn, I thought you were my age.
I don't care. I feel like wisdom comes with age.
You're right. You're right. And you're right. We're doing this. We've done it at a young age. Let's just forget about it, kind of, and move on, man.
So you mentioned NA meetings.
Yeah.
Tell us how, you know, you're a bit better with communication than I am. I've always been behind the camera. You've been in front.
Yeah, true.
I haven't been practicing. It's a skill I haven't been working on, and I couldn't apply it to my life. Did a communication play a part in that? Were you nervous as fuck? Do you talk? Like, run me through like.
Yeah. So the first NA meeting I went to was about 4 weeks ago, and it was scary, man. I'm not gonna lie. I was packing it because, like, I'm not a bad dude. Like, no, I really am not. I'm a really nice, genuine person that just found a blanket, which was the wrong blanket to keep myself warm for a while. That's all, man. So I went to this meeting, man, to get help, and the people that were there were freaky, bro. They were like jail baits, fucking crackheads,
the other side of the road, I guess.
Proper, like, hit rock bottom kind of people. And I'm not saying I'm any different to them at all, right? We just went down different paths. But it's funny listening to the stories. So at an NA meeting, there's X amount of people and a dude that sits at the front. We all go around the room and say our names and say how long we've been sober. Then after that, he writes down all our names. Then after that, he says, right, would you like to share Luke? Would you like to share Sally? Would you like to share Craig? Whatever. And we all get a turn at sharing sometimes, about, I don't know, however long the meeting goes for. And just sitting there listening to stories, right? Everyone's got a different story, but we've all got the same. We all use the same thing to help the problem. Like, we all use the same solution. It's not the correct solution, but it was a solution. You know, it helped us get past that time in life, you know, what we were using. So, you know what? It's all good and well communicating. It's slightly a bit easier for myself than yourself. But in saying that, there was a mask I always used to put on, bro. I never once was genuinely myself, like, up until now, kind of, I guess. Like, you know, I always hid that side of me, dude, because I was embarrassed, man. I was so ashamed of it, dude. Like, I knew it wasn't the right thing to do, but it just helped me get through these times in my life. And yeah, I just used to put this mask on, man, and just front up and do what I had to do for the day. Because at the end of the day, man, like, I still had to get out of bed. I still had to pay my bills. I still had to make sure there's food on the table for my family. And like, I couldn't just sit down and just be like, all right, these are my problems. Like, up until it got real serious, you know. And that's when I started going to those meetings. And like, if anyone is struggling out there with drugs or alcohol, you know, getting sober, talking to psychs, talking to counsellors, I will genuinely say, as a an active addict, there is something in those Narcotic Anonymous rooms and I guess those AA meeting rooms that fucking helps. I promise you. Like, it's helped me so far, and this is the longest I've been clean, dude, in so long.
And voluntary as well.
Voluntary as well. I've seen a psych.
You got nothing,
Correct.
bro.
I've seen a psych. I haven't been to jail, no. I've seen a psych. I've seen a counsellor. I've seen a drug and alcohol specialist, and it only made me want to use more. It was weird. It
Bro,
was
it's
so
funny
weird.
you say that. I went and saw a therapist with my last relationship for like relationship stuff, and he sort of asked me some questions, and I was honest, said, listen, I'm a drug user, whatever, and he sort of straight into that topic of things, because I think he was like, felt like that's obviously part of the problem, and it was. But after like 1 or 2 sessions of that, he came out and was like, I usually don't do addiction because most people don't beat it and just waste my time. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I remember going home and having a bong that night and sort of going in my head and thinking about it and going, fuck, even this cunt thinks that I can't beat this, or other people can't beat this. Like,
It
how
really
depressing
puts
is
a
that?
dampener on your
Dude, what the fuck?
on your road to recovery, right?
Yeah, and that was enough for me to be like, hey, this isn't the right dude, or maybe I can't beat, or what? But I stopped
right,
going,
it
man.
isn't the right
So it's like,
person,
what
man.
is the point, But that's where people in the same situation, like the NA is, there's value in numbers, really. And if everyone's going through the same thing, and I remember you actually mentioned it another time that people had been there and had been clean for 15 years, whatever, and are still attending. Like we said, you need to keep taking that shower, but that shows you that it is possible. Whereas when you're in the room with just a therapist and they're telling you it's not possible, you've got no experience to go off.
No one will understand an addict but another addict, and I swear by that. I don't care how much you know about addiction and the chemical release it gives you in your brain and the dopamine release. I don't care how much as a doctor or a therapist you understand it, unless you were a functioning addict or an active addict once upon a time in your life and are now sober or still an addict, you will not understand it. Shut the fuck up. That is my dead bottom.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
I
like
agree
you
with
might
that.
have all the theory and algorithms, but unless you were an addict, you do not understand it. You do not fully understand. That's why the NA meetings, sorry to interrupt, the NA meetings are full of addicts.
Yeah.
They understand.
It's all relative.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're all there to help each other. There is no bad talk in that room. There is no, that's not as bad as what I'm going through.
Yeah,
You'll get
100%.
booted the fuck out, man.
That was the point I was going to go to. I was going to ask you that. Do people like apples for apples? Is it I'm using meth, I'm using heroin, you're using alcohol, you're using pot?
We don't really discuss what our choice of
vices,
poison
I
is,
guess,
but we do discuss, some stories and that on whatever we were using. You can mention your poison if you want, but you don't have to, man. You just, Luke, I'm a drug addict and I've been clean for, X amount of weeks, or X amount of days or whatever.
I think that's one of the disappointing things I've seen with the online sobriety community, and like doing a bit of research before I dived into this, is a lot of the comments you see on the videos is, oh, you're only using pot, or you're using alcohol, it's nicotine, like fucking.
You're
some
only
people ruin their
drinking
lives with
alcohol,
sugar.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Some people are addicted to sugar,
Yeah,
and
dude.
it's bad enough to fuck their lives up. I don't think there's no apples for apples. Addiction is addiction.
I believe that it's a control thing. So, example, my whole life, I've been in control of everything, in absolute control of everything. You've known me for years, dude. You've seen I've had my finger around everything in life. Everything goes my way, and that's the way I want it to go. And it's it's led me to this beautiful life. But this substance abuse, this addiction, this control it has over me, and I just can't seem to wrap my finger around it for the past so long, many years, dude. It's been crazy, bro. So, what I'm saying is like, I'm trying to figure out why it has control of me. Why
scary.
I can't just go, no, not right now.
Yeah. I think that's one of the things you build.
Savage, dude. It's savage.
It's confidence once you go. The further you go, like through sobriety, is you build that confidence. Like, I actually can say no and mean it.
Yeah.
Like I sort of joked before, I'd love to have a cigarette. That's only one of things I was using, but like, fuck, dude. Like, if I have one, that turns into 100 over the next 3 months, and my brain says no. I've got to listen to that and act on it.
Yeah, and like as opposed to different poisons, like I've got a friend struggling with the alcohol really, really, really bad, and we chat a lot on the phone. one of the tools I found in recovery is keeping my brain active, you know, because like I said, I put so much time into getting fucked up. I need to put so much time into getting sober, right? So I'm going back to calling my mates again and, you know, speaking with them quite frequently. And he's struggling a little bit with alcohol, dude. And, you know, he's saying, I know my story isn't as bad as yours. I know my drug isn't as, you know, wild as yours. And man, the way I see it is we all got our different flavour. And if anything, I think alcoholics that are addicted to alcohol is the worst kind, if you ask me. One, because it's affordable. Two, because it's legal and around us all the time. Like, it's just, it's so hard to put down completely, dude. Like, I still drink, man. Like, that's not a problem in my life yet. I still have a couple of beers with my mates, you know, when we go for a ride or we celebrate a function or something.
Yep.
But I know when it's getting out of control. I know when to put it down before it leads into something else, you know. It's not my flavour. I can promise you that it's not my flavour.
Yeah.
It's just, it's just very acceptable in life. And
it's encouraged, bro. You got sporting events, you
One
have
thing
a
at a
beer,
time.
people sculling a beer. Like,
Yeah, dude.
Christmas parties, always at open bar. Like, alcohol is a huge part of our society and has been for some time.
Yep.
But just on that, like, I've actually noticed I've looked at a lot of studies and stuff on alcohol in the last few weeks. And young people are not drinking anywhere near as much as their folks or the generations before
Really?
them. Like, yeah, 100%, bro. And a lot of that comes from
That's good.
vaping. Like, they say that younger people are giving themselves some sort of mental out, whether it's through, you know, vaping or cigarettes or whatever, as opposed to a long-term negative impacts like waking up hungover, ruining the day after. Like, they can sort of have a little bit of a hit, you know, like, and it makes sense, like, I think.
That's crazy. You know what was funny probably about a week or two ago, I had my mate come over and we're having a few beers at my house, and like my flavour was, you know, narcotics. I didn't really drink that much, dude. You know, I didn't drink when I used to take drugs. I used to just take drugs solely on their own. I used to take drugs as an introvert. I never took drugs with people. I always done it on my own.
Yep. Can I ask why?
And done my own thing. Yeah, of course. So I used it as a coping mechanism with what was going on in my life throughout the last few years. I done it on my own because I done it with my friends years ago because, you know, it starts off as fun. So I done it with my friends as fun, and then it turned into a bit of fun with a problem, and then it turned into a full-blown problem. And then when it was at fun with the problem stage, I stopped doing it with my friends and I just done it on my own because I still enjoyed it. I still, you know, went about my day and got things done, and then it turned into a full-blown problem where I couldn't live without it. And it was just absolutely...
Were you embarrassed to do it with others because it was such
100%.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do it. Like, we could go out to an event with lots of people and I wouldn't do it. Purely because I didn't want them knowing how bad I was with my tolerance, how bad I was with it. I didn't want them to see it that way. It was a very personal thing for me that I struggled with. And like I said, I'm greedy. I didn't want to share it. I wanted the high to be all to myself.
Yeah.
I didn't want to fucking give that guy some of my drugs because then I would have less. I would not be fucked up for as long. That's just how it all worked out. So I was very greedy on that side of things. Plus, you know, they're expensive, man. I wasn't going to share that shit.
100%, brother. I was the same. Like, you know, for me, like smoking in the shed, you know, I didn't mind sort of sharing because the cost wasn't there, but after a little while, I stopped doing it with others because I just wanted to go and play my PlayStation, not think about anything, not think about my problems.
Becomes
the
very
fight I'd have with
introvert,
my missus. Yeah, like after a while, it just took over me and I stopped going out after like 7 p.m. at night. If you wanted to hang out with me when I was, you know, smoking weed, not interested after 7 because I was stinging for the weed. I knew that I could just be in my little shell. I didn't have to worry about it. Whereas now, like, I'm fucking bored. Like, I get to 7 p.m. I'm like, what can I go do? Like, you know, I've played PlayStation, I've done this, I've done that. Like, I want to go out and have dinner. I go out, I try new meals. I'm doing this sort of stuff, making videos, and I'm excited to feel. But also, that's because when you get sober, the boredom is very, like, overwhelming. Yeah. You know, how the fuck do I feel good when I'm so bored? What do I do?
I feel like you have to replace what you were doing. You have to replace smoking billies with something else. So like, and eventually the boredom will become you'll enjoy being bored. You'll enjoy that. Oh, I'm bored, but it's enjoyable.
Timed up my sleeve now.
Correct. So, you know, like we were doing this stuff every day, man. So we got to figure out stuff that we can replace that with every day. We can't just stop it and go, oh, well, we'll get better one day. We have to replace it because a bored brain will always resort back to what we used to do. I promise you, man.
Muscle memory.
Correct. Muscle memory. A bored brain will always go back to us wanting to take drugs again.
Yeah.
So we have to fill it with other things to do. Well, and you know what? They're the tools. They're the small tools that I'm learning. You know, for me, it's talking. I call all my mates every day. I throw myself in the water nearly twice a week. I've been surfing, dude, with or without friends. I take the boat out, man. I haven't taken my boat out in years, bro.
Yeah.
I'm trying to chase natural highs, but because I used to get fucked up all the time, I then have to chase natural highs all the time. I can't just do it. I can't just go out on the boat once a week because the next day I'm going to be thinking about doing drugs. I have to do it every day, man, if that makes sense. Because as much time as like I said before, and I know it's getting repetitive, but this will help people. As much time as I put into getting fucked up, I have to put into getting sober and to replacing it to fill things. Otherwise, I'll go back down that alley. I'll go back down that dark road again.
Oh, definitely,
bro. And I understand that, man. I understand that. I just got to keep doing it, dude.
So how often are your meetings? I know you said
you can go to them every day. Every day they're on twice a day at different little community halls or like churches and stuff. So you can go to them all around the coast. But I just go to this certain one because, you know, it's taken me a little bit to kind of vulnerability and putting pride aside and accepting. Like I'm still getting there. Like I said, I'm only 6 weeks clean, so I'm still getting there with that stuff. But I'm doing something about it. So I just go to this one facility near my place every Tuesday night for an hour and a half, you know. And like I said, there's something in those rooms, man. There's people in those rooms that have been clean for 4 days. There's people in those rooms that relapse. There's people in those rooms that have been clean for like 20 years, bro. And I asked one of them, I said, why do you still come to these like 20 years? Surely you've got the tools. You found your higher power. You're sober. And she said to me, I come in here to help people like you. I come in here because I see you guys struggling and I want to show you that
proof's in the pudding.
It is true. You can't. I'm 20 years sober, but I'm the only one here that's got more than 5 years up their sleeve. It is doable. If I wasn't here, everyone in this room, she said, is less than 5 years clean. You're going to think, fuck, we'll just get back on it again. I'm like, that's so true. And she said to me this. She said, it also reminds me of how fucked up you guys are. I don't want to go back down that path.
Yeah, it's a two-way
That's so true, right?
Yeah,
so she still turns up to these meetings, bro, to go, that's why I don't use it again.
That's her shower, bro, to stay clean.
Yeah, crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, man, 100%.
That's awesome, man. We had a really good chat with her, dude. Like, fuck, everyone's so beautiful in those rooms, man. We're all different people on all different levels, but share the same devil. You know what I mean? Like the same fucking story as to why.
I think that's one thing with sobriety is like when...
And we all understand each other.
Oh, of course. I mean, you're going through the same battles, but helping each other is a big part of that as well, is because you didn't want to help yourself for so long. So I think sometimes it feels more comfortable to try and help others as well, even when you're struggling. But one thing I've really noticed is like counting days, like I said, 57 days. Sometimes I'm a bit embarrassed about how little the days are too. I don't know if you feel the same as well. You sort of feel when someone tells you talk about your 57 days, you think, fuck, that's not many days. Like, I should have done this sooner. I start doing those head games of like, and it almost tricks me into just, give up. You haven't
That's
gone
the
that
bad
far.
wolf,
Like,
man. That's the bad wolf, dude. I'm telling you, you got to feed the good wolf. I get it. I have those days too, man. But in that sense also, which I think I'm a tiny bit better than you at, is I don't give a fuck what people think or what anything that's going on in my life. I am so selfish right now because I haven't been the last 7 years. I am so selfish right now to myself in a very healthy way. In that sense. So I do get those things creep up in my mind, but fuck, I shake them off instantly because like, why? I'm like, why? Like I used to get on it with that guy. I don't give a fuck about that guy, you know? You've got nothing into my life, dude, you know? That's why I'm sitting here with you, man, like.
It's good to be in the same boat really with this as well, man. Like we're almost the same time, you know, jumping into sobriety, so
pretty much, man.
You can bounce that shit off each other, and different sides of the boat, different drugs, whatever. Yeah, it's all the same, man. We're both, you know, we both want to go and do what we used to do. Your brain's telling us that.
It's crazy, isn't it?
You know, we do have to find mechanisms, bro, and that's what I'm looking for. A lot of the content
and tools, mechanisms, and tools on how to cope with it when the bad wolf comes into our ear again. You know, like you said, fucking I've only done this amount of days. What's the point? You know, we got to learn tools to deal with that. That's all. We're back.
All right, double dicking.
Just had to do a quick little number 2.
I actually just did some drugs. So. Hang on, my camera's been fucking stupid. Hang on.
Oh, what's going on here? Sort her out.
All right, big popper.
We're back.
Okay, so took a breather. We're back. Came with a few things I'd like to talk about because it's a little bit hard on the fly when you're
It is, man. We didn't really prep for this. You just kind of hit me up and like, you know, we're both on this sobriety train. Let's just kind of talk about it and encourage it. One thing I do like, if I'd like to start off by saying is talking about it, man. I know it's hard, dude. Like putting your pride aside, finding help, admitting you have a problem. It's the first step, man, and it's the hardest step, I reckon. But once you do, it gets so much better. Because so many years we didn't talk about this, dude. We were just
we talked about the positives of it. Not the negatives.
Yeah, we did,
like,
didn't we? Yeah,
truly,
we used to talk about smoking weed.
Yeah, how good's this? Let's do this.
Getting stoned and having fun. But no, yeah, we're going to talk about, you know, it being actually a problem and then wanting to overcome it. So yeah, if anyone is struggling, like, just talk about it. It gets so much easier. Put your fucking pride aside. Who gives a fuck? Admit you got a problem and let's start recovering together.
Well, it gives people a false sense of security when you only talk about the positives of something. Oh, this is awesome. I did this, I did that. Like drinking. If you only told people about how cool it is to drink or whatever, especially kids that can't drink yet, whatever, and then once they start drinking and they see the negative sides, they're going to think you're a scumbag because you've lied to them the whole time.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like, well, this cunt didn't tell me that you feel like shit for 2 days or, you know, like you vomit, whatever. Like, if you only talk about the positives, it's
Dark
not
side
fair.
to that, eh?
So I've got one to kick off here for a few questions. So obviously you spent a lot of money on drugs, alcohol, whatever, like we all have. I actually used to spend $300 a week, bare minimum. I'd spend $300 a week. I've decided since not spending it on drugs, I made a deal with myself. I never used to dress really nice. I had the same old clothes. I'd always wear the same shit, same shoes, very plain.
Yeah.
It was my style. You know, I think there's nothing wrong with that, but I decided to go and get some better clothes.
Cool.
I think if I look better, I'm going to feel better. Whether that's true or not, I guess we'll find out. So that's one thing. And the other thing was tattoos. I stopped getting tattooed for probably around 7 years since kicking on with the drugs. I never had the money to do both.
Yeah.
So now
true.
I've sort of got an appointment every 2-3 weeks, month, until I get all my head done, my neck done, finish off a lot of tattoos. So that's my thing. So I wanted to ask you, obviously now you're not spending that sort of coin. What are you going to invest that into, or what have you been spending on?
I would not buy myself clothes. I would not, you know, spend money on my vehicles or my house or my family because I was putting it all aside for drugs, you know. So I don't really. I've saved a lot of money since, but I don't really kind of like. I don't know. The way I see it is, if I want something now, I'll go and get it, and I won't feel bad about it because I used to blow so much money on that dumb shit. Now, when I go out and buy something, you know, I bought some materials to fix my caravan I'm doing up, right? I went to Bunnings and it cost me like, I don't know, 300 and something bucks. And I'm like, that's more than what I used to spend a day on drugs.
Yeah.
You know, so I would tap my card without hesitation and it wouldn't bother me because I'm going to get this whole caravan fixed for less than what I would spend in 1 day on drugs.
And hopefully get the same or more joy than
doing
drugs. Like,
Correct.
It's a long-term investment.
Yeah,
that's the thing with drugs
sure.
is it's a short-term investment.
Isn't it?
If you spend $300 on whatever, 500, 1,000, you spend that same on clothes, you've got fresh gear for 6-12 months. You know what I mean? Like it's long-term investments now.
It was funny.
Done and gone.
It was funny how, like, you know, you'd be so tight on groceries, so tight on, you know, clothing, jewelry, tight on fuel. You know, I was never filling my car up fully. I was only doing $50 at a time.
Yeah.
Because I had to make sure I had money to fucking
get fucked up,
to get on the bend, you know. So now it's just, now I don't care. Now I do care, but I'm like, well, it used to be worse. I used to just put this down the toilet. So like, I'm happy that I'm not doing that anymore, and I can put money in just things that are going to benefit me a lot, man. You know.
I've got another one here. It's probably a good segue into the last podcast. We did a bit of a podcast, I don't know, 6 to 12 months ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago now.
Actually, probably over 12 months ago. I wanted to just start getting myself in front of the camera, but I was still on drugs. And I couldn't even do the podcast without being high and having a beer in hand. Like if you've seen the other clips, beer in hand. Couldn't talk in front of a camera. Just something that I just couldn't challenge or face without being affected drugs or alcohol. So what's something you've done sober now since being sober that you always thought would require drugs?
Oh man, I used to take drugs every day. So just
Life.
life. Yeah, bro.
Dude, I feel that, bro. 100%.
Just,
I feel that.
I can't really pinpoint anything, but put it this way: I'm enjoying experiencing things in life, whether that be getting out of bed and driving to the bakery for a pie, whether that be coming to work and doing a day's work sober. I'm enjoying life sober now. Put it that way. So yeah, I used to. Yeah, I was off my head all the time, bro. All the time. And what would happen was when I would stop when I'd run out of money, or I'd stop when I needed to sleep. Put it that way, or get
forced to sleep.
Get more sleep. You know what I mean? I wouldn't sleep much because you know I'd wake up tired for only 3-4 hours sleep, get fucked up again. I'll be right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just enjoying spending my time, realizing how much better it is sober, bro. So that's what I've been doing, bro. And it's been fun to do.
Man, I've picked up the PlayStation again, and like,
oh yeah, cool.
Now that I'm sober, I gives my brain.
You're not good at it,
dude. It's the opposite. I'm fucking gang killing it,
dude,
bro.
No way.
And it's funny. I always used to think I was good. You know, I get on the Fortnite, I get on the Call of Duty, and I get a few kills, whatever, and I'd be so pumped because I had tunnel vision with the weed.
Yeah, for sure.
Now I'm sober and I'm fucking destroying kids, man. Like kids in my ear on the headset. You're a scumbag. I'm sober and I'm seeing, like, I've just got so much brain capacity to actually play these games now that I never thought I would have, and now I couldn't go back. Like, and that was always a wig out. I didn't pick up the controller unless I was fucked up.
Dude, I play a bit of the PlayStation myself, but I only played it when I was really fucked up.
Yeah.
So I played it the other day when I was bored, whacked it on, had a few games, and I sucked at it, man. It took me a while to, figure it out how to do it again, but I wasn't as tweaked in, but in saying that, I was on uppers.
Yeah.
Yours was, I don't know, yours was kind of a bit of a mellow / not really a downer. It was more of a mellow kind of.
I'd smoke and just fucking
drug.
zone
I was
out
on an upper, so my heart was always racing. I'm just in the moment playing
You're
the
thinking
game.
actual SWAT teams coming in.
I honestly thought I was in the TV.
Yeah.
It was insane, dude. So yeah, but in saying that, I'd like to talk about triggers, what triggers were for us. So, and funny you mentioned the PlayStation. That was a trigger for me. So like, at the moment I'm not playing it right now because I only played it when I was fucked up. Yep. So when I pick up the remote, all I think about is getting fucked up. So right now it's just not on my list, but I'll keep it there, I'll play it again eventually. But right now, while I'm trying to figure out how to be sober, I just don't play it as much, that's all.
That's fair enough. My triggers were like relationship issues, to be honest. Like, in my last relationship, I think I took about 3 weeks or a month off. And every time something didn't go my way in that relationship, all I could think about was getting fucked up and like trying to break up with her.
Oh, okay.
I was the biggest cunt, bro. Like I'd be at work, I'd be stressed out, something wouldn't go my way, it started getting hard at work, whatever, and I just message her at work and be like, I can't do this with you anymore. Fucking don't know why, bro. I was just stinging for a bong. I was fucking having a bad day, and I'd take it out on her in that way, and it's so wrong, man.
Any
I
other
couldn't
triggers?
Realize that at the time.
Any other triggers? Like
heaps, bro, heaps. Like I come to
like
the nicotine,
workplaces,
I come to hanging out with you. I know you love a ciggy, and nothing wrong with that, man. I can't handle it. And I see you, and I'm like, fuck, I'd love to have a ciggy with Luke. Or
it's
there's other people, drivers at work and shit. I'm like, because that was my bonding. When I was having a bad day, I'd go downstairs, one of the drivers that smoke, having a shit time. I'd go, bro, you got a ciggy? Have a ciggy with him, talk shit for 5 minutes, and made me feel better. So then I started bonding to that if I do that behaviour, I feel better for this period of time.
Okay.
And then I did it more. So I was having 20 a day with drivers, and then
it's crazy.
I ended up just fucking sucking everyone off for a ciggy. And they all thought I was just bumming their ciggies, and I didn't actually want to talk to them.
You're smoking OPs, other people's.
Bro, it was a combination of ciggy and broing out with someone made me feel better.
Yeah.
Here's a good one. Weirdest thing you or I have ever done while high. It's the weirdest fucking thing you can think of you've ever done.
The weirdest thing I ever done.
Bro, I'll start. Like
you start, and I'll have a little think, man, because I've done some fucked up shit I don't want to talk about.
Oh, like this. I don't think it's too bad, but like we all watch porn. Like when I watch porn sober, or I just want to fucking have a beat off, I know what I'm interested in, like with big titties, whatever. Like boom, done. But when I'm fucking high, bro, I will sit on that Pornhub. I'll go on that XNXX, and I'll find some weird fucking shit to jack off to. If that's tentacle porn, like I'm not saying anything sinister, but like just weird category.
You'd be on
man.
there for hours before
Ebony.
you got off.
You know, yeah, bro, I would be skin and bones, like blood coming out of my fucking calluses because this cunt's getting torn up.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
alright,
before you could find something.
dude, drugs really fucked me up in that aspect. And then I
Yeah.
think I really couldn't beat off when I was sober. Because, like, I
It takes a
enjoyed that
while.
process,
It takes
man,
a
of
while.
like 2 hours in front of the fucking
Yeah.
phone looking
Yeah.
at some weird shit, you know?
That's funny, dude.
Yeah, like, it's funny to look back on now and actually realize. At the time, I didn't notice that. I
Yeah.
thought I was killing time, you know?
Yeah.
But, yeah, now it's like I know what I want and fucking done.
Yeah. I don't really have a funny, like, thing I used to do. Because mine was more of a heavy addiction, man, and I used to do it on my own a lot. I used to hide it from doing it from people a lot, I guess, and like it's not funny, but it's a bit embarrassing, and I'm happy to talk about it now, you know, like even when people were at my workplace, you know, I used to go and hide and do it and whatever and come back to where they were at, or, you know, I'd duck off at a person's place and go and do it, then come back to, you know, wherever we're hanging out at and stuff, and yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I actually never thought it was a problem for you, to be honest, bro. Like,
What?
your addiction. Like, I actually didn't think you were addicted, man.
Yeah.
Straight up. Like,
Well, that's what I mean. That's how good I was. That's a part of addiction too. Is the hiding, the secrecy, the lying. That's how bad I was with it, man. I was hiding it from everyone, dude. You know, you'd come to my workplace, bro, and I'd be off my head. But you whether you knew or not was up to you. But you know, you might be down here doing a video for me, and I'll be upstairs here snorting lines.
bumping. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
sick.
Like,
Yeah.
and you wouldn't even know. Then I just come downstairs and you'd just think I'd sent an email or something. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that was all a part of the addiction, bro.
Yeah,
It was
scary.
crazy, man. Yeah, bro. But actually, speaking of like porn and stuff, the drugs used to make me very toey. Like, these uppers used to make me so toey, man. You know, I'd be at work and I'd fucking have to run in the toilet and fucking rip one out for fucking 10 minutes, then come back out and keep working again. Because, and I'll tell you why, because addiction, drugs, alcohol, and sex, right? Ejaculating's a form of dopamine release, right? So when I'm at the end of my packet of whatever I'm taking, and, you know, I'm starting to come to, or, you know, I'm dying off on that high. I don't have any money, or I don't have anyone to get off of again.
Yeah.
And I then have to come to realization, I'll rub one out, because that is like the last little bit of fucking hit I can get.
Yeah.
That's like having one more bump. You know what I mean?
Michael Hutchins, choke yourself out.
That's like having one more bump, dude. So, so
I relate to that.
That's probably the funniest thing I've ever done. Is like right before I would fucking, you know, I'd have me last little bump, and then I'd go and rub one out to get that bump to last a bit longer.
I actually couldn't root sober, to be honest. Like, I just would be
It
too in
affected
my
your
head.
sex drive sober.
Not so much that I have like limp dick or something, but like I would just be thinking about 50,000 things at once. Like, oh, does she like this? Do I do this? But if I'd go and have a chuff or whatever, or even like nicotine would help with this, like have something, I would root like a demon, because all I cared about was me and being the main character.
Yeah.
And after a while, I figured out that girls actually like that. Girls like you to take control.
Yeah.
You know, just run things, I guess. And once I put the two and two together, I was like, fuck yeah, I'm unstoppable in the sack, because they like this, I like this, easy. Now I'm sober, I'm like back to that again, and you know, I actually do have a bit of the limp dick, and I think it's the mental. I don't know how my dong works, but I think it's the mental game of like,
I used to have some pretty savage sex when I was off my head, dude. Like a really crazy sex.
all
man.
legal, all above board.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was all
Paul
fucking...
Rexy used to fucking
It was
listen,
all consensual. But I just meant like, because I was like, I felt like a hero, bro. I felt unstoppable, man. I was fucking...
They're here for me.
I was working 12 hours on the clock, and then I'd come home and just go to town on my partner, and like...
dig deep.
We were having the best orgasms, and it was just wild, bro. Then, you know, like, obviously sober now. And she respects that a lot, my journey on recovery now. So we obviously, we still fucking bang, but it's just a little different now, and that's cool, man. Like, that's cool. We're getting there, but
It's more a journey now,
it's
rather
more a
than
journey
just,
now, exactly. But you know what? She did actually mention the other day. She was like, "Fuck you, fuck me good when you're off your head."
But that's hard, bro. That's the one thing as well.
It wasn't a trigger or nothing. It was just,
but
it was
could
just
be,
like,
you know.
oh, remember that time, you know, when you come home from work and I had the shits because you were fucking off your head, and then for some reason we just had a bit of makeup sex or a bit of angry sex, whatever you want to call it, and it was incredible, cunt. Like, I
think
lasted
that's-
so long. She had like 3 orgasms, and I was like fucking beating my chest kind of afterwards.
I'm throbbing now thinking about it.
You know, so, but that's all in the past, man. Like, I just blow heaps quick now and just fucking go to sleep, so it is what it is. I'll get there, man. You know, we just find other ways to please each other now, you know, like, and that's cool with me. I'm cool with that.
A good segue on that. Speaking
Hey,
of
it's
your
better than
missus.
taking drugs, right?
Well, yeah, the other thing there is when you experience these cool things, like whether it's sex or fucking whatever, sunset,
yeah.
it actually kind of feels like drugs in a way that you're feeling something nice, but nothing's affecting your brain. Everyone's got the same reality in that moment. On the thing with family and relationships, whatever. How have you used sobriety to rebuild trust with like family, friends, relationship? Like what's some sort of what are you doing to rebuild that? Because these people know that. You know, like me personally, I couldn't give a fuck the bad things you've done because I don't see it as bad because I'm on the same wavelength.
Of course, yeah.
Like, you've obviously done things to people or your missus or your family or whatever. I have that you need to take responsibility.
That's a good question, man. That's a really good question. There's a topic in the NA meetings called making an amends. So, and part of sobriety is making an amends. So, like over the last 6 weeks of being sober, I've started to make an amends in my own way. Just like I believe in my version of God and how he's helping me, you know, get through this journey with me as well. You know, I have to put all that stuff aside and I have to admit that, you know, I'm powerless to this drug. So I've just been making an amends, man, with like, obviously, you know, my folks didn't know too much about this. So obviously the last few years I have been a bit silly. I wasn't talking to them as much because I was very introvert. I was very selfish in a bad way in that sense. So, back to family stuff. I've been making an amends by going and seeing my mum every weekend. You know, back riding with my dad again.
Consistency.
Caitlin, spending quality time with her. And you know what? It sucks going shopping. It sucks hanging out with her friends.
Yeah, dude.
But you just do it anyway because I missed out on all of it. And at the end of the day, seeing her smile, dude, is fucking my new drug. Put it that way. Seeing her smile gives me the biggest high, bro. No one can wipe it away from me. And just like learning to go about things sober now. So with family and everything as well. But obviously I haven't spoken about it too much to those people in my life unless they completely understand my situation, because a lot of people thought I was destined to be doomed, man. Like when I first opened up to my sister about it, she thought I was a fucking proper junkie, like I had no hope, blah blah blah. She actually was freaking out for me. She was ringing me every night making sure I was sober, and to the point where I was lying to her. I'm not like, oh, yeah, I'm sober, but I wasn't.
I've been there, brother.
Just didn't want her to freak out because she didn't understand, you know what I mean? And I don't want her to worry, but it's okay talking to you guys and everyone else about it, because whoever's listening, or yourself, or whoever is in active addiction right now, will understand what we're all going through. So, cool. I'm cool with that now. You know, I'm cool with that now.
Oh, for sure. Mine's the same. I just consistency, bro. My next segue, which is like I'll go over what I'm doing to rebuild that, but I'll answer mine first, and then I'll chat to you about it. But what's the worst thing you've done on drugs or come from drugs? It can be broad, you know. My thing would be about 6 years ago, I was seeing this girl. I won't mention names and stuff, but I've spoken with her since. And we'd like to do a podcast together for our own sort of healing. And I reckon it'd be fucking... Because I'm bad with communication. So I think maybe if I'm force myself into that conversation with her and talk about it, I think it'll be a positive for us. Basically, I was seeing her for a few weeks. I fucked her around amongst, you know... seeing other girls, whatever. She's aware of that. At least I was honest. She got pregnant. I mean, I got her pregnant. And she told me basically on Christmas night that she was pregnant, and I shit the gear, man. I fucking really wigged
really
out.
Talking about this?
Yeah, bro. 100%. Okay. Yeah, 100%, bro. Like I've spoken to her about it. She's cool with it.
Yeah, okay.
It's probably the biggest part of my life now. Most people that know me know about it. And she... told me on Christmas night that she was pregnant. I hit the gear, fucking drugs, alcohol, like anything I can get my hands on for the next sort of few months while I was dealing with it. And I was honest with her at the time and said, I don't want this. I'm not in a good place, whatever. But she really wanted to keep the kid. And I didn't want to stop her from that either. So I said, that's fine if that's what you want to do, but I don't want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
But bro, that fucked me up for the next basically 6 years now, man. Like, I've got a daughter now. She's turning 5 soon. And once I got sober, it's all I could think about. Like, I just numbed that shit with drugs, whatever else I was doing, like relationships, work. Like, I just numbed it. It's funny, like, I didn't realize how many people I told about this over that period of time, but I'd mentioned to a few people. So when I told them that I'd reconnected with her, they were like, oh yeah, I knew about this. And I'm like, what? I don't remember telling you that this had happened or whatever. But we've reconnected. I met my daughter. She's beautiful. She's 5 years old, and that's my priority now, basically over everything. The only thing that won't take priority is my sobriety, because if I can't be sober, I can't invest fully into her and her mum and working all that stuff out. But it's been fucking hectic, man. But easily the worst thing I've done. You know, I've done some shit to girls, relationships, whatever. But like, that's the worst thing, man. Your kid not, you know, she's mentioned to her mum that like, why don't I have a dad? Where's my dad? Why do my friends have a mum and a dad? And fuck, bro, that's really heartbreaking. You know, I had a real dad, I guess, up until like sort of year 5, and there were some issues there, and haven't seen him since. And then I got a stepdad that came into the picture, and he's been my dad. And all I could think about is relating that. Like, even I had fucking father periods from that period to that period.
Yeah,
and this and
true.
That. She
that's
had nothing,
right. Your
bro.
dad
like,
wasn't part
she's
of
looking
your
at the
life,
outside world going like, why am I different? What's wrong with him? Is he dead? Like, what the fuck? And like, now I can give her those solid answers.
It's all part of making an amends, dude.
Yeah, bro. That's like my biggest amends, my biggest fuck up. I will definitely speak on this more, and I'd like to do a podcast with her where we can like really delve into it for our sake and hopefully help others that maybe have done the same thing. I'm seeing now, I thought I was the biggest scumbag in the world, but other people have done the same thing as me.
Yeah.
Maybe some people figured it out sooner, later, never figured it out at all, but it's something I'm definitely going to tackle. So yeah, I'll move on from that. But
what was the question?
What's the worst thing you've done on drugs or come from drugs? You know, what's something that...
The worst thing... look, I used to lie to my partner a lot, which wasn't good. Consecutive lying every day to get that hit. The worst thing I nearly did, bro, was I nearly killed myself, man.
Fuck, brother.
I got really depressed and dependent, and I thought I was doomed. I thought nothing could help me. Like, dude, after using drugs every day for X amount of years, you honestly think it's a part of your life, and it ruins you, dude. Like, the drugs I was using was so bad for me, man. You know, like to the point where I nearly did it, man. I got very close to doing it, and you know what? I'll discuss it. Fuck it. I was at work and I was really, really, really lost, man. I was really lost, and I was, you know, I had a really bad overdose, and not at work, sorry. I had a bad overdose about 6 months ago, and I stopped, and I honestly thought that was it. I'm never taking drugs again. I nearly killed myself. You know, this is fucked. I turned my life around, bro. I got 6 weeks clean. That was the longest I've been clean in ages. I'm 6 weeks clean right now. I've been 6 weeks clean, longest I've been clean in ages. And then for whatever reason had happened, A plus B equals C, I took drugs again. Dude, I nearly died, right? And then for some reason, after X amount of, it still won. Like, I remember doing the drugs that time going, the fuck? Who in their right mind, you know, like, would then pick up again? This thing nearly, if you can't eat potato scallops because they kill you, you're not going to eat a potato scallop, are you? I did it again.
Self-destructive, bro. That's
self-destructive, right? And I got so deep, man, that I honestly thought, you know, that day at my workplace, I thought, that's it, I'm done. Like, this is going to be me for the rest of my life. This is not what I want. I just want to find peace. And I thought the only way to find peace was death. So I brought a rope upstairs, and I tried to figure out how to kind of tie the knot.
Fuck, bro.
And I had no idea. I was fucked, because I wanted to be like, the weight was going, I wanted to choke me out more. So I Googled it on the computer, and it didn't tell me how to do it. It just come up with helplines and shit.
Good. That's fucking amazing.
While I was trying to figure it out, right, I'm
really
off my head high, right? I'm off my head, right? And I'm trying to figure out how to, you know, hang myself properly so it would be quick. I got this rush of, finally, I've beat the drug. Finally, I'm at peace, because I was so committed to killing myself. the feeling of being high had left me because the adrenaline had kicked in. And then the feeling of like finally being able to let go and this not controlling me anymore was I've won. I've beat it. I'm now going to be sober forever because I'm going to be dead. And that feeling scared the fuck out of me. I ran straight home. And I come back to work with all the rope and shit up here still, so I just got rid of it.
I'm really sorry you went through that, bro. Like that's,
It's a scary place, man. It's a very scary place.
You would have like spoken to someone about it before.
A few people have said that, man. But when you're in that mind frame,
you're not right in there.
No one can help you, bro. There is no way I was sitting up here thinking of you, going, "You're going to help me," because the only thing I believe that helped me was death.
Or drugs, Like,
that's what they do to you, man. It's horrible, dude. It's horrible. I'm so glad I didn't do it, obviously, but at the time, man, that was the only exit for me, bro. I picked up again after overdosing. My life is over. I've ruined my relationship pretty much in my head. I just didn't want to be a part of it anymore, and I honestly thought you got to have some demons in you, bro, to think that death is the answer.
Did you tell your partner? Does she know?
Yeah, she knows. Yeah, she knows. Yeah.
Good,
I went home.
I
went home and cried in her arms for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours.
That would have been, and as you know how she's going to react to that. She's going to fucking freak the fuck out.
Yeah,
bro,
she does all the time. Every time I'm here late now, she calls me, wigs out. Like I have to. I'm very prompt with her now, and
I think subconsciously you did that, knowing she would freak you out, so that she could be a consistent support system for you.
I guess I don't know.
Just in the back of your mind, honestly, like you said, you were hiding it before. Something made you not hide it because you were scared, bro.
That's one thing I do when I do feel triggered. If I feel triggered, like I still get triggers all the time, bro. I still want to fucking get fucked up all the time. It was so much fun. I message her straight away.
Good.
Hello, darling. I'm feeling like getting fucked up today. I'm not going to, but I have a very, very heavy case in my head, and I really want to use today so bad. By telling her, I've already put my pride aside. I've got, what do you call it when you got someone holding you accountable for it?
Yeah.
So I can't then and do it and go home and try and hide it because she already knows I want to use. So she's already going to be thinking I'm trying to really hide when I get home, and I don't want to do that. So that's another tool that I've learned, like when I feel the urge, feel the fucking, the craving, I'll message her, I'll message one of my other mates, and he'll come around and like hang with me, or fucking we'll go do something or something just to try and get it away from it.
I hope even talking about it today, like as much as it might be uncomfortable, like it's uncomfortable for me. I can only imagine for you. Hopefully, it makes you feel better. That
it does, and like I said, I would never have told anybody on this level of what happened in my life because I'm so embarrassed and ashamed of it. But I don't care anymore, man. I really don't. Like, if you're gonna laugh at me, dude. If you're gonna take from this. Please take from this. I don't care, but you know what? There is one guy that dies of mental health. Every hour there's a male that dies of mental health or whatever reason, suicide, right? Mental health, drug, whatever the reason is. There's one an hour, dude. That is so many. It's like 20,000 a year or something, bro. It has to stop.
It's crazy, yeah.
So, fuck. And there's helplines and there's awarenesses and stuff for male suicide, but it's not promoted enough, bro. It's not like in your face enough, I
don't see it on fucking TikTok, YouTube. Like
it's not. There are hotlines you can call up. There are people you can go and see and rooms and meetings, but it's not boosted enough as like fucking having a like.
I'm grateful as fuck when you googled that shit, bro. That there would not. The internet's a pretty dark place, man. And
it is.
It was a very positive place at that time.
Yeah, it didn't show me how to do it at all. No,
fucking percent.
Just gave me a bunch of helplines to ring, which I didn't ring because
it was enough to change your mindset for maybe a second.
Yeah. Well, it didn't. What changed my mindset was, and I really can't describe it too well, but I was fucking off my head. I'm so high right now, and the feeling of finally being at peace and like. It felt like I was 30 years sober, put it that way. It felt like I didn't need to rely on it again. I thought, I'm done. Like, this is it. This is going to be the best ever. I'm not going to use again because I'm going to be dead. It's going to be great. That feeling was so good in my body, bro, that it scared the fuck out of me.
You're being manipulated.
Yeah.
By your own brain.
Yeah, and I think that people that do fully commit to killing themselves have that feeling so greater that they just continue and they want it forever.